Welcome to another episode of the Move to Spain podcast or the Move to Spain YouTube channel, depending on where you're watching. This is Marisa Moreno Castillo, senior lawyer and consul for Denmark at justlawsolicitors.com. Hello.
That's it. Hi.
My name is John Towell. I'm a English lawyer, but that doesn't count for anything because we have the team of lawyers at justlawsolicitors.com. And happily for me, I don't have to make any legal decisions.
Wow.
It's Marisa. Well, it's not just Marisa, is it? We have
a
Belen,
team. Yeah.
Anna, Nerea,
Yeah.
Ivan, Pablo,
Alberto, and a few
Anna,
more. Yeah, and a few
and
more people.
all the paralegals and
We have
support
16.
staff. 16 people, yeah.
In the
16
team.
people.
Yeah.
I'm just here to point people's queries in the right direction.
No, it's more than that, but he's very modest.
Right. Okay. So what we thought we'd do is we just have a chat about 2024 and moving forward to 2025. Normally, Marisa would write a big article, but we've moved on now. We've got the Move to Spain Facebook group and everything like that. So we don't have to worry too much about articles and things like that. So 2024, apart from, and we'll talk about it in a bit of detail, the golden visa saying it was going to end, there hasn't really been any big legal changes, has there?
Well, but you mean from the immigration?
Just in general, that affects our viewers and listeners.
No, okay. Well, there is a lot of changes in the law, but to affect that, a big part of our clients, that's immigration, about the residency visas, and for property market is not a big change.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that would affect people who are moving to Spain is the golden visa, and people call it the golden visa, but it's the investment visa. And there's lots of ways to get the investment visa. Sorry if you've heard this before. You can put money in a Spanish bank account, you can buy Spanish shares, you can buy Spanish bonds, you can open a business, not to be confused with a self-employed visa. And one of them is you can buy a property, or properties, parking spaces, bits of land, a warehouse for 500,000 euros or more. And yes, you can do it with your wife if it's done in a special way. Speak to Marisa or Belen. Now, what happened in 2024 is the Prime Minister of Spain said, I want to end this. And then the process started. What happened was it went to the Spanish Parliament. As I understand it, it went to the Senate. The Senate said no. It went back to the Spanish Parliament, who have the majority. And now the Spanish Parliament have said, we're definitely going to end it. And now it's between Christmas and New Year. Nobody knows what day it is. Monday, I think it is. And where we are at the moment is we're waiting for the Spanish government to write the law that stops the golden visa only by property purchase for 500,000 euros or more into the law, and that's called the BOE, the BOE. Is that right?
Yeah, it's the official newspaper, the official post.
So at the moment, you can still put your golden visa by property purchase.
Yeah, it looks like the vacatio legis, that is the period that the government is going to give to the golden visa will be ending, will be 3 months since the date of they publish in the VOE, that is the official newspaper.
So where we are at the moment, we're pretty certain that it's 3 months plus some indeterminate time.
That's it.
So, and believe me, when it finally ends, we will tell you in the Move to Spain Facebook group. We'll tell you on here, the podcast, the video, everything. So you'll know. So basically,
and when the law will be written, we will write, and then we will know what's going to happen with all the application that is on course.
Yeah, because there's going to be people who haven't applied, and then there's people who have made the application, and the law will be able to tell you what's going to happen with that. Now, so that's basically quite straightforward. Obviously we've been expanding the team at the office. That doesn't make any difference. We're up to 16 people with the golden visa. They're the main changes. Other things remain. The easiest thing we can say is just take independent legal advice before you sign or pay anything with the property purchase, with the visa. If you don't believe us, listen to episode 5 of the podcast. There's a notary, and even he advises that you should take independent legal advice when you buy a property.
Well, we always said it is that if you don't going to have any problems or any issue when you buy a property here, okay, you say, well, I save all the money that I pay for an independent lawyer. But if you have a problem, your dream that is to buy a property in Spain going to become your worst nightmare. So it's not, it's you don't want to choose us, you can choose any
there's
other
loads of other lawyers available.
But it's like to have a surgery yourself, or to have a medical diagnosis yourself. Everybody knows that if you have a headache, you can take paracetamol. Everybody knows that. But if you have a headache in for more time, it's better to go to the doctor. It's the same.
I mean, we've been going since 1992, and Marisa was going a few more years before that in Madrid. So hopefully we know what we're doing. And like I say, you can listen to the notary in episode 5. And in episode 9, Belen, one of the partners in the firm, she's not here, she talks about the property purchase. That's episode 9 of the podcast. So
I have to say that in this year, we have a very satisfied client. Very happy clients. And we have some review. The legal matters is a little bit difficult. It's not the same that you go to a restaurant. Because people doesn't want
people
to
don't want to say to them.
You don't want to show their legal issues in public. But we have all the reviews were really, really good.
We had a couple of reviews of people who weren't even clients. There was a couple of bad ones, but there were people who hadn't even instructed us.
They were complaining because they have to pay for our
advice. Basically that. They were just that's all it was. It wasn't anything about our efficiency or anything like that. But there you go. So if you buy a property, take independent legal advice from someone like us, justlawsolicitors.com. The other thing is just people have been getting a bit confused with NIE numbers, and you're not meant to know anything before you move to Spain, but we include the NIE number if you're buying a property here.
An NIE number is your number of identification for tax purposes. You can imagine that many people come here all around the world with their own passport, but the Spanish tax office needs to register them with a Spanish number, let's say, it's just to control, because it's really difficult. But you can imagine that some people from Canada and South Arabia has the same number. Obviously, it's different citizenship, but it's just to make it easy. It's just to have a control, and obviously, it's part of the regulation for anti-laundering money regulations.
Anti-money laundering regulations. So don't get too het up about the NIE number. It's just something that you need, but we include it when you buy a property.
And even you don't have, it's not an identification by yourself, because it's just a number. It has no any kind of picture, any kind of any other details. It's just a number.
It's just a number you need, and we do it when you buy a property. We also do it when you apply for a visa as well. We include it. So if you're speaking to Anna, let's see if we can put a picture of Anna. There she is. I hope I've remembered to do that picture, otherwise we're going to look really crazy. But speak to Anna.
Or Belen.
Anna's for visas, isn't she?
Belen is for properties, or to our Victoria is our paralegal that she used to manage with the NIE number.
So if you're buying a house, you're applying for a visa, we include the NIE number, don't worry. And we've mentioned the golden visa, but with the golden visa being removed, and we have to say a golden visa by property purchase, it's something like 10% of 0.1% of property purchases. And obviously, if you're watching this from Germany, France, Finland, Sweden, Norway, Switzerland, you can come and buy a property.
It's not affecting them because
it doesn't affect them. You can come and live and work here. And even for English people and American people, Australians, Canadians, people who aren't a member of the EU, you can still buy a property here. They're not stopping you from buying a property here. It's just that you don't have the right to live and work once you buy the property. However, there are lots of different visas available. For example, the retirement visa, which is called the non-lucrative visa, the digital nomad visa, the self-employed visa. Lots of different visas are available. So speak to Anna if you don't know which visa you need, or even if you do, Anna can advise you on the best way to do it. And she's a complete specialist. She doesn't do anything else in the firm, just visas.
And anyway, the golden visa may be the difference with the non-lucrative visa for when you want to buy a property here for this purpose. I can say that the only difference is that you and your family can work here. But okay, but maybe you don't need to work here, and it's not your aim. But if you want to work here, there is another visa that we can advise you to apply for.
Yeah. So just because this golden visa's ended, it affects very, very few people, and even then, there's probably an alternative. But yeah, speak to Anna and see what she says. So there's a couple of questions while I've got Marisa here that come up on the Move to Spain Facebook group, and hopefully this will save me typing every day. One of the questions is, a person wants to buy a property and they go to an estate agent, and the estate agent says to them, you must pay me a percentage of the property price. So we're clear, that's the buyer, that's the person buying the property. Now, as I understand it, if you enter into a contract with the agent and agree to that, then that's the law, isn't it?
Okay, you have to think that usually in the property price, if you buy through estate agent, is the estate agent's fees usually, but that depends of the area where you're going to buy, or even the dealing that you have, the deal that you have to with the estate agent. That means that if let's say I've ordered someone or instruct someone to find for me a property in Costa del Sol or Costa Blanca or whatever in Madrid, and he's going to tell me, okay, but you have to pay me part of my fees. Well, it's a contract, and you have to do.
I would say, putting the legal side of things to one side, it's very unusual. And in my experience, I'm not a Spanish lawyer, it's unusual. Usually you pay nothing. It's the seller that pays the agent. So if you don't want to contract with the agent to pay the agent some money, just find another agent. There's plenty of agents have been on here in no particular order. Hayes Homes, Gareth Holt Property Group, A Perfect Place in Estepona. There's lots of people have been on here. Find your own agent. If you've got any problems, a load of documents come and you think, I'm not going to sign that, then have a word with Belen.
But that's it. But the first thing is sign anything without any advice. But as John say, is uses the seller who pay, but because the buyer are paying the sales price, that usually include the fees for the estate agent. You know. So in fact, because sometimes the client say, "But in that case, I'm paying for it." Oh yeah, because you are paying the property price. But what has to be very clear in your in the letter, the instruction letter for the estate agent, is who is paying his fees or their fees. Is it included in the property price or is not? And in case it's not, who going to pay? Because sometimes I have seen, and it's completely legal, that they share and pay 50-50.
But what's normal, getting away from the legal side, is, say for example you have a property, you don't get much for 100,000, but say for example you have a property for 100,000 and the estate agent is charging, I think some estate agents charge 3, I think Gareth charges 3, for example, but say for example it's 5%, then usually it's the seller that pays the 5%. So the buyer, yes, the buyer pays 100, but the buyer only pays 100, and then that 5,000 goes to the estate agent and comes off the price. But again, any confusion, speak to Belen. She's the property lawyer who will be acting for you in the purchase, and you can speak to her before you sign or pay anything. Now, the other thing that people ask about, I've actually made some notes today because I've been accused of meandering before. So I've made some notes. Spanish wills. Again, as I understand it, it's not a legal requirement to have a Spanish will. But if you have a Spanish will, I guarantee you, it'll cost you less money in probate and it will be quicker. And you can choose the legal jurisdiction, and if you choose the legal jurisdiction, you could pay less taxes. So it's very important to have a Spanish will, but it's not a legal requirement. You're not breaking the law if you don't have one, but it's advisable to have a Spanish will.
Yeah, and that's something some people doesn't know, but it's a question that if you are living here or you have asset here. If you don't, obviously you don't need a will in Spain. But if you have any kind of asset, any kind of link with Spain, that is means because you are living here or because you have assets here. It's different if you have a will in your own country. Of course, we can do it. We are specialists. My specialty is international private law, so we can manage. I have been managed for years with third countries and European countries. But anyway, I'm going to put you an example that people doesn't know is that some countries are not signed the Convention Hague for legalization of documents.
Yeah, so, that's the Hague Convention.
The Hague Convention does it. So the point is, for instance, Canada hasn't signed. So to delegalize all documents now is a little bit easy because they have great and offices much quicker. But legalize all these documents from Canada are really difficult. Difficult. It's that's not happened with England, but happened with some state in the America. So, but no, because America has not signed this convention, so it's very complicated. So it's better that you to have an easy life and for your peace of mind, go and get advice and especially for a lawyer.
And speak to obviously Belen when you buy your property, and she can put you to Marisa or some other lawyer in the firm about a Spanish will.
This is something, that we can do. But for instance, we do probably 80 or 90% of our conveyancing process we do with power of attorney. We represent the clients, and the clients doesn't come to the notary. But in case of the will, it's very. It cannot be granted by a power of attorney. That means that if you want to have a Spanish will, you have to come to Spain, or you have to do it in the general consulate, Spanish general consulate of your country. Right. But again, we can deal with all this.
I mean, we're not too. Marisa predominantly works from the Fuengirola office. Belen works from the Fuengirola office, and that's very easy from Malaga Airport. It's connected by the train, so if you wanted to come to the office, that's not a problem. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, and we have Pablo for taxation. Another thing that I wanted to mention is the thing about the capital gains tax in Spain. Now, apologies to Americans and Canadians and Australians, South Africans, etc. But if I give you the example in England, if you sell your property in England and it's your primary residence, you don't pay capital gains tax on that property sale. So all the money's for you. However, if you become a Spanish tax resident and a similar thing happens, any property in the world, you make a profit on your primary residence in Spain, your primary residence in Australia, whatever, America, the UK, you will pay tax. So if you're selling your property in the UK and you're moving to Spain to become a tax resident, doesn't matter if you're buying in Spain, it's just if you're a tax resident in Spain, which means you spend more than 183 days or more in a calendar year. Again, English tax year is April to April, Spanish tax year is January to December. Now, what you would need to do to avoid that, and this is putting it very, very simply, and the expert is Pablo, is do not spend 183 days or more in Spain, not Schengen, just Spain, if you're going to do that, because you would have to pay capital gains tax in Spain. So have that in your mind when you speak to Belen about the property purchase, wills, things like that. Just bear that in mind. It's a question we get a lot on the.
Anyway, there's another option too, because it's depending of the tax yearly exercise. But anyway, and that's applied too for the rest of the citizens. It's not that John put example in Great Britain, because in Britain you don't going to pay capital gains, but doesn't matter if you're going to pay in another country. If you can to live in Spain, you have to think about that.
And it's not something that is specifically aimed at foreigners. It applies to Spanish people. I think there's an exemption when you get to 65, but I don't want to go into it because it's very, very complicated. But it's completely avoidable. You're not doing anything wrong by avoiding it. It's just a question of taking legal advice. So the other big news, you got your medal. Your medal this year. Marisa is now, I don't know, is it like a knighthood in England? You got a medal from as she was then, the Queen of Denmark.
The Queen of Denmark granted to me. Dannebrog is a very, very old knighthood.
Yeah, so there you go. Wow.
I think it's the 17th century.
You have to write. So you have to write Madam Marisa on your emails now.
Lady Marisa.
Lady Marisa. No, you don't. Right. But I think that's basically it. The live stream. Well, it's a new year, so we're going to have more live streams with Marisa. We can get Belen. We can get Anna. Belen property, Anna visas. Pablo for tax, if we can get Pablo. Depends on the time of year for Pablo, because sometimes it's absolutely crazy. And I think the tax department now is like 5 people, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's
6.
6 people, yeah. Alberto does work very closely with Pablo. Alberto's the accountant. So if there's an overlap, don't worry, they work together. So we're going to do more live streams. And we're always looking for people to come on the podcast. You know, you might have bought an apartment overlooking the beach in Fuengirola and think it's not very interesting, but really people want to hear from you, you know, so come on the podcast, message me, say I want to come on the podcast, and we can do Zoom audio, we can do Zoom video, whatever you want, you know, come on the podcast because people really want to hear it, and it saves me talking to myself. We don't have any adverts on the podcast, we don't have any sponsors. Not that we don't want them, we'd love them.
No.
So if you want to sponsor or advert, Marisa's saying no, but I'm saying yes. You know, we'll take your money. But we don't have any sponsors or anything like that. But we're happy to continue without them. We don't mind. But any questions, you can message me via the Facebook group. If you've got a specific legal question, it's better to put contact at justlawsolicitors.com. The podcast is on Spotify, Apple. Apparently, I don't have Alexa, but apparently people have told me I'm very good at looking after the dogs, and they just put ask Alexa and then they take the dog out.
Okay. All right.
There you go. Well, anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you have all had a good Christmas. Did you have a good Christmas?
Yeah. We have a very good Christmas with family. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I suppose you go out so much. You're probably quite happy to turn the oven on.
Yeah, just to be at home. Yeah. Anyway, Christmas is at home. Yeah. At least in my house,
Yeah, New Year's Eve, we've got the grapes in Spain. So you eat 1 grape every time the clock bongs 12. You can turn on the TV and they show you how to do it. Please try and do that with somebody with you and Google the Heimlich maneuver and just be very careful stuffing 12 grapes into your mouth. Yeah.
Oh, to tell you the truth, we have not many. Sometimes has any accident maybe, but nobody till now, as far as I remember, nobody in Spain
we're lawyers, so we're very cautious.
Nobody has died because has a problem with the grapes. But you had to choose your own size too.
Yeah,
you know, I picked the small one.
Get the small ones. Take the seeds out. You know, knowledge is power. That's New Year, and then we have 3 Kings.
Yeah.
So everything is closed on the 6th, is it?
Yeah, because it's the children has all the present, and it's a big parade.
So go shopping before and after the 6th. You don't try and go shopping on the 6th in Spain. Everything will be.
I think this 6th this year is Saturday, Sunday. I think anyway.
Okay.
No. It's I don't know.
We don't even know what day it is. Nobody knows what day it is between Christmas and New Year. Not even Marisa.
No, it's Monday. It's Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that it then? Have you got anything else you want to say?
No, it's okay. Thank you for all our client trust on us.
Yeah.
We try hard to have a high standard of efficiency, and obviously, and we try to do the same next year.
Yeah.
So happy 2025.
Yeah, 2025. I did put all the reviews in one place. If you go on the blog, just lawsolicitors.com/blog, there are all the screenshots of all the reviews. So if you just want to look at them, they're there.
Yeah, but as I tell you, maybe in the review is only 10% of the clients that we have, because
but people don't want.
we
People don't want
cannot,
really,
no, but we can,
Yeah.
of course they can do whatever they want, and we are very, very happy, and we appreciate that they take their time and they have the courtesy to have a good review. But of course, we understand that we have in a business that people don't want to show theirs, even that they have been in
things like family law. People don't want to write anything about your taxes
and litigations and taxes.
It's very common. You'll never see us smiling outside the notary with the client and a picture of the date. We don't do that. Like, we keep it all separate.
And one of the first commitment of a lawyer is the secret.
Yeah, say nothing. Say nothing. No comment. Okay, well, thanks a lot, everybody. And normal service will be resumed after the new year with the Facebook group, the podcast you're listening to, the blog on the website, live streams. We're gonna keep at it. Don't worry. Okay, thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.